Well, a few peaks of sunshine today, not a lot, but there were a couple as we went through the afternoon hours. And the same thing will be true as we go through the day tomorrow. That's our first weather headline as we go through the next 7 days. Finally, some sun, but the sun will not help to keep our temperatures, well, from staying below the normal. That's where they're going to stay as we go through much of the next 7-day forecast, which we'll show you coming up in just a couple of minutes, at least the entire extent of it. Rain and snow returns Thursday. The next storm arrives late Thursday and into Friday. This is coming from a southwesterly direction, so the big question is not if, it's how far to the north does the precipitation spread and how heavy will the precipitation be when it does finally get into our area. Active weather continues into next week. A slight warm-up ends the forecast. Now, this is a first glance at what we think is going to happen with the snow system. The system is going to come through the area through Friday. 1 to 3 inches, we believe, in the southern coal fields, into the Greenbrier Valley, too, and less than that as you head into other areas around the region, a dusting to 1 inch. Again, it's preliminary. We could tweak this a little bit as we go through the day tomorrow. Meteorologist Tanner B, meteorologist Christian Butler, and I all taking a look at it to see what we're actually going to finally forecast as we end things off this week. Route 460, Route 52 looking pretty good as we go through our evening hours. Wind's blowing the camera around just a little bit. Current conditions, as we look at I-64, mile marker 124, it's 24 degrees and clear because the winds are out of the south at 3. Well, wind chill's not too much of a factor. It still feels like 24, so you still want to bundle up as you head out to your evening time plans. Barometer sitting at 30.21. 37 in Charlotte, 38 in Atlanta, so it's cold all the way down to the deep south. 28 in Cleveland, 20 in Chicago, 27 in Indianapolis, 9 in Des Moines, 35 in St. Louis, 33 in Syracuse. Speaking of Syracuse, that's an area that's seen a lot of lake effect snow over the better part of the past week, and that is going to continue as we go through the nighttime hours tonight. The fetch is good. In other words, the lakes are open for business, and we're seeing lots of that cool air pulled across those warm and moist Great Lakes, and that's why we're seeing a lot of lake effect snow. The upcoming weather pattern calls for more of the same. Here's Friday's storm right here, making its way through the region. The big question again is how far to the north does that precipitation spread? This is the Greenbrier Valley here, and of course southern coalfields. This is where I think the bulk of the snow is going to fly, as we just talked about a second ago. Meanwhile, as we go through our Monday, another storm system comes towards the area, but it should pass mainly off to our north. As we go through our Wednesday, another storm system passes at least to the north of the area, so the bulk of this precipitation, we believe, as we go into the middle portion next week, will fall in the wet form, not the wintry form, although of course higher elevation locations could see some snow. Futurecast over the next 5 days, the European mile does have a decent amount of snow in the same areas that we just talked about, so this is why this is part of the basis for our forecast, but it's not the only reason that we are forecasting 1 to 3 inches in those areas that we talked about. 33 in Fayetteville for tomorrow, 34 in Oak Hill, 33 in Beckley, 36 in Princeton, 35 in Bluefield. As we look at Lewisburg's temperatures, we see we top out in the mid to upper 30s before dropping back just a bit as we go through the later hours of our afternoon. 7-day forecast, icicles are still in effect as we continue to see temperatures at or below the normal just about across the board. 44 is the best we'll be able to do next Wednesday, and even that's below where it should be, with that chance for precipitation every couple of days as the active weather pattern does continue around southern West Virginia. That's your weather. More news and sports comes up in just a couple of minutes.